Welcome back, folks. Rugby TV. We carry on talking about what's happening in all of Western Province Club Rugby and, of course, in Western Province Rugby. And as you know, a lot of the Club Rugby players moving into Western Province space and, of course, the juniors coming through the ranks. And, of course, the last few months has been COVID, as we know. And slowly now we're starting to see athletes and players getting back to some form of training, but it doesn't happen as simple as that. You don't just start training. You actually need to get a few checks done before the ball gets rolling. On the line with me now, Jerome Parvat, Western Province Rugby under 21 and under 20 coach. Jerome, hoe lyk dinge daar?
Baie goed, Jeppie. Dankie. Het baie besige naweek gehad, so baie goed.
Jerome, let's start at the beginning. Let's go back 2 weeks. I know we spoke to you just the other day from Western Province Rugby, but then of course you started planning quite a lot with the juniors coming for testing, and you had some testing on Saturday at both City Park and at the High Performance Centre.
Yes, JP, Saturday was quite a busy day. The schools were testing here with Wilfred Kibiru at the HPC, and we were testing the club players at City Park, yeah. And I must say, thanks to the clubs, it was quite a big turnout. We had about 60 under 20 players that we test on Saturday. So, yeah, it was quite a good turnout.
So City Park, of course, one of the Western Province Rugby grounds. There was just the Club Rugby under 20s, is that right?
Exactly, yes.
So where do the Club Rugby under 20 players go now? You had the under 20s also at the High Performance Centre. Do they join at some stage? Because am I right in saying that the High Performance Centre was the school guys?
Yeah, they were the school guys were at the High Performance Centre. Yeah. So what we're busy doing now, myself and the conditioning coach, we're busy working through the data of all the guys that we tested and look at their results. And we explained to the guys on Saturday, we will take the guys, because there's not a lot of time, so we'll take the guys who's currently on form and we'll work through the testing. So hopefully by next week we will invite a few of that guys who stood out in the testing.
How does this go now, Jerome? You've got the players then under 20s testing at the clubs and of course the school guys. Where does that roll out to? I mean, we know you told us last week that they will now break for exams and that. When do you expect to see them again?
Yeah, look, the school guys, because of the exams and the schools are going on, so we will see them on the 6th of January, the school guys. But the university guys, we're busy with them. And then obviously with the club guys that we tested, the guys that we're going to invite next week. So we're busy with that guys, yeah, the more sort of senior guys who's out of school.
And Jerome, you mentioned that you've got a strength and conditioning coach. What does he do now? Does he actually stand at the testing and write all the results down and then go back home and do the data or the analysis and check the stats?
That's exactly, JP. I mean, you can think for yourself, it's quite a lot of data and quite a lot of stats, because we try, and what he's busy also with is trying to work through the data and all that stats so that we can send each club their data and the stats so that they can see where their players are, and then he will obviously send them what we expect from the players and where they should be.
Now, we know that especially this year, you guys have been doing all these online workshops with national coaches, international coaches. When we look at the sort of testing that you're busy with now, is there something that pops out at an international level as a trend that maybe defines a player that one can see, hang on, this is very consistent results, and we can see where this player is going to?
Yeah, look, JP, because we were close, or the conditioning coach were close to the Stormers or the Currie Cup conditioning coach, but we're not at, we don't measure like with the international rugby. I think that's a step further. But for us, and especially with club players, we measure, say for example, like if they measure skin folds of a prop. So they will work on, take Stephen Kitsoff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't expect the guy to be more the same, but they give us a sort of a fair idea where we want the prop and like how much we need him to weigh, how much, and yeah, and the skin folds, what the fat presentation of a prop must be, whatever, because people say to you, Jerome, I've got a very big guy. I've got a big prop. You must look at this guy. We don't look at that size anymore. There's big for certain people mean fat.
Yes.
For us, fat doesn't mean anything because that guy's not going to last a game. He's going to miss out on defense and stuff. So we've got this data. So if you look at a loose forward, we'll take Peter Steffie's not playing anymore now. So we look at Sia, we look at Erens van Rijn, or that type of guys in certain positions. We look at backline players. We have the norms here of the senior team. And then what our guy do, he just sort of look at the norms that we can do and we test according to that. We don't expect the guy to be the same, but we have a sort of a baseline working from there to where we want to be.
It's fascinating. I suppose as everybody has different body structures and body composition that can which is why you need to test, because isn't that it? Exactly.
And as I say, I think we of the few provinces at this stage doing that. And myself and Wilfred Kibru were talking over the weekend. So I was like, because I popped in here Saturday after our testing, and they were still sort of busy here.
Yeah.
So we said like he had 70 players here Saturday morning, and we had 60 under 20 players, and then obviously we have the club squad guys also who were also there. So there were about 15, 18 club guys there. So we had about 80 players at City Park, and they had about 70 players here in Bellville. And I said, I don't think anywhere in South Africa last Saturday there were so many rugby players involved doing stuff. So and I think the club coaches and the school coaches, they're fortunate because we can give them the stats and we can give them something to build on for next year.
So Jerome, I think we leave it at that, but it certainly does seem like you can't judge a book by its cover. You never know what you're looking at from a player perspective until you've actually done the testing and looked at the data.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes we also, it's not the data. The data is, we say 90% we look at that.
Yeah.
But we also know our customers. You can see if this guy's, maybe he's data and his stats is not as good as the other guy, but you can see this guy, he has something. So sometimes you have to follow that also. You don't chuck a guy away because you can see, look, this guy looks like a rugby player. Maybe he didn't work hard enough in the lockdown. So we always, obviously we told the guys, we'll give you another opportunity because you can see you have something.
So it's always also more than just what you see on paper. Jerome, we'll leave it at that, and we'll say thanks to you. We know that you've got your hands full there and very busy, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon. And we're looking forward to see who all these champions are that are coming through the ranks.
Yeah, JP. Yeah, thanks. And I also must say, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the club guys came in last night. And they were really looking good. I can see, because remember earlier on when the lockdown started, like we had guys sending in what they were doing at home. Some guys improvise sort of gym stuff at home in their garage or in their backyard. So I can really see that the guys really did a lot of work, and so were the other clubs also, because the guys are really looking in good shape. So they gave us a good base to work off, so we know where to go to now with them.
Will you be doing some more testing before the holidays with the club rugby guys?
We're busy. They're obviously coming in tomorrow again, and we're going to be busy till the 15th with them. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to seeing the progress of the players and profiling some of the players. Thanks, Jerome.
Thank you.
There we go, folks. Jerome Parvater, Western Province Rugby under 20 coach, of course, head of talent identification as well. And great news there. Great to hear that the club rugby guys are coming through the ranks. And, of course, that they, in fact, have been working so hard behind the scenes. And, well, as they say, the proof is in the pudding. And working behind the scenes, and then, of course, coming to Western Province, doing the testing. And there you see the results now. Of course, the holidays are coming up, and we hope that the guys are going to keep maintaining this sort of record that Jerome is talking about. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Back in a sec.